Back on sportsBIT, betting inside today, Pauly and Teddy. Follow us on Twitter at Pauly Howard, at Teddy_covers. Tonight in the association, Nuggets and the Knicks. Knicks laying, how about that? 2.5, 228 the total. Let's start with the Oakley situation. Kicked out by security, 8-9 guys hauled him off. He was arrested. Conflicting reports. Some people backing up Oakley's account. Other people saying he started chirping at Dolan, who was a couple rows up. And that's when they called security. Oakley told ESPN Radio in New York that as soon as he's in the building, they're supposed to tell Dolan right away because he's not welcome at Madison Square Garden. And Oakley not happy about it.
Well, there's video of the incident, and the video shows nothing that Oakley did to warrant the treatment that he got. We've got quotes from fans. Jamie Fidiello, seated in the area, said, quote, Oakley was mildly boisterous to one security guard, but nothing that seemed like he should be kicked out. I didn't see him say anything to James Dolan. So, that's the nature of the game when you're the owner. You want to sit up in your box, it's one thing. You want to sit down by the court, it's another. You're going to get chirped at. But for New York, the last thing they need is more nonsense like this, especially with the quotes that we're seeing. Madison Square Garden security handled it poorly. They never said to him, calm down. The only interaction was them saying, you need to leave.
He acted like an ass. You can't put your hands on security. You can't put your finger in someone's face. You can't shove security. Phil Jackson comes over to step in and help him out. They still cuffed him and stuffed him.
But you think about that's going on off the court. The Knicks had a game where Carmelo Anthony and Derrick Rose just scored 20 points, and they lost to the Clippers anyway. They blew a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. So, the off-court distractions making a circus even more of a circus. But from a basketball perspective, the Knicks got what they wanted to get and needed to get. Melo and Rose playing well against L.A., and it didn't even matter, Paul. They still found a way to lose.
Yeah, up 10 in the fourth quarter. They let it slip away. And how does Hornacek keep them motivated? 6-19 straight up since Christmas. Only 2-5 straight up in the 7 games when favored since then. 0-3 straight up in ATS on the current homestand. They're giving up 117 points per game. Every day it's something new with Melo. Phil Jackson taking shots at him. Melo, quote, I think anybody would get tired of it. If you went to work every day and you had these spats about you, eventually you'll get tired. Unless you're as strong as I am, know how to deal with it and move on from it. But I think anybody, any human being at some point in time will start feeling a way about it. Can't cry over spilled milk, end quote. But it's, I'll tell you what, this guy, Phil Jackson's been a disaster. Absolutely. I agree with what Spike Lee said. He has his bag should be packed. Keep Melo. Get rid of Phil. But now...
We talked about this when he got hired. We said
horrible
it was a furious
hire. I know,
hire,
horrible.
and it wasn't going to work. But it all, you're blaming Phil Jackson. It all comes from ownership. This is James Dolan. When you have a bad owner, what you have underneath him is a bad organization. And the bad organization tends to lurch. They, let's find this big name. Let's find that big name. Just what the 49ers are doing right now. The same concept of lurching one way to the other and not building something competitively. When you look at how the Sixers have handled their rebuild, and I'm telling you, Philadelphia's going to be competing for NBA championships in a year or two. Not 5 years, not 10 years, a year or two. The Knicks, it could be forever. Who knows how long it's going to be before New York. It is a disaster, and certainly, as you mentioned, based on the point spread results, 2-5 straight up as chalk in 2017. That's not a team I can lay points with.
Knicks most bet on team at the LV Superbook at the Westgate before the season with futures, 80-1. Jesus, burn those tickets. Nuggets strong since coming back from London, but why are the Knicks favored? Gallinari's out, Moutier's out, and Farid could miss the game as well, Teddy.
Yeah, Farid had an ankle injury at Atlanta on Wednesday, but, when we started talking about Denver we've talked about Denver all year. We talked about Denver a couple of weeks ago and saying, this team's not living up to it. And much like Indiana, that London trip where they had a chance to get extra practices in, both before and after, man, this team's played a lot better basketball. Now, they got blown out early at Atlanta, and they rallied and they came up short. Michael Malone, after the game, quote, I owned it. They were executing the game plan that I put in, and I said, my game plan stinks. Let's get more aggressive. Let's get them on their heels. And the players responded. If you want to get back into a game, you can't just sit there and wait for it to happen. Sometimes you have to be the cause of that change. I thought that by being aggressive in our pick and roll defense, that allowed us to get going give us an aggressive swagger that really helped us out. Boy, Pauly, the first gut in this was say, hey, let's take a look at this game up and over the total. But man, the odds makers have certainly priced that appropriately. 228 and a half. Probably not going to get there.
Yeah, especially with those key guys out. Can't do it, though, although it'll be a crazy pace and no defense in that one. Hey, guys, for the full video, go to sbrpicks.com.
Do your research before you bet. Check out our ratings guide to see which books have the best ratings and sign-up bonuses. Open up several accounts and shop for lines at sbrodds.com. Always be ahead of the game.